Hi guys, Love Island winter is back, and yes, we brought in the CASA AMORE week back as well. It is probably one of the most anticipated weeks of the Love Island show, as it brings in 6 new girls and 6 new boys to the 2 different villas, CASA AMORE and the main villa. It is the week that broke couples but also created new ones, and is probably also one of the weeks that got us viewers the most iconic live TV sentences. If you may recall Andrew's famous sentence from last year's Love Island, amongst other ones.
I licked her or whatever.
In this season of Love Island Winter, we see a fair amount of head turns happening, both from the girls and the boys' side. Casey is the first boy to officially be turning his head as he makes out with Sammy, but honestly, who can blame him when he's literally known Claudia, who he's coupled up with, for just 3 days. By the end of the week, he would have spent more time with the Love Island girls than he would have had with Claudia. So yes, him kissing girls was not at all surprising. Nope, the most surprising head-turning situation was with one of my all-time original favorites, Will. Yep, Will kissed Layla, and that is what we are going through in this video. To recap, Will and Jessie have been together ever since Jessie came into the villa, which to be fair was pretty early on. We saw Jessie go on a date with Casey but rejected him, pretty much friend-zoning him from the start, and said that she's got a really good thing going on with Will. Of course, they also went to the hideaway where they allegedly got pretty intimate. Will and Jessie, we actually see Will sharing a kiss and then a bed with Layla. After his kiss though, we also see Will and Casey have a chat where they essentially talk about the kiss between Will and Layla. And at some point during the conversation, Casey asks Will whether he regrets the kiss, to which he replies yes and no. Not sure if you guys saw it, but he was pretty much like an open book with his face, really showing the mixed emotions that he seemed to have. It brought back this sort of emotional and sentimental side out of him. He also said that it made him realize how much he actually really cares about Jessie, although he did end up sharing a bed with Layla that same night, so who knows. Nonetheless, here is my theory as to why guys and girls quote-unquote turn their heads when they get into CASA AMORE. Guys of CASA are coming from the outside, and a lot of them tend to use this to their advantage, acting like they know more things sometimes because they have this outside view where they could essentially see who says what about whom, and sometimes it does create like doubts when you're inside the villa. Andrew from last year's Love Island was a clear example of that. All the girls came in and said he was being mugged off, and so even though he might not have thought about it before, he just took on whatever the girls were telling him instead of trusting his own guts and trusting what he had with Tasha. Of course, their love story is a whole other story that I'm not going to get deep into, but that is just one example. Second, the girls and guys are on Love Island and they feel like they need to live this full experience. Sometimes, even though they might not have any issues or any problems with their own couples, both guys or girls would say things like they are here for themselves, they need to experience the full Love Island life, they need to test themselves, and so on. And to be honest, I quite understand this point, but I do feel like if you are at that stage, then it just means that you're not set on the person that you're coupled up with. Whereas if you are, like for example with Ron and Shaq, you just know that the grass is not greener on the other side. And that kind of brings me to the third point, which is that sometimes it's kind of hard to distinguish between having a crush on someone versus having a real connection with someone. I think when you have a crush on someone, it is this initial physical attraction, the flirtatious chats, and then it peaks into high peaks of happiness. That crush feeling dies down pretty quickly compared to when you have a genuine connection. Anyways, only time will tell, but my guess is that Will has a strong connection with Jessie and probably just has a little crush on Layla. And I think, or at least I'm hoping, that he's going to end up coming back to his rational sense. Perhaps you do need to go through these hurdles and these temptations to make you feel like what you've got is really good, There are so many examples of that, like Andrew from last year's On Love Island when he went away with Coco but ended up with Tasha, Ron when Sammy came in who ended up with Alana as well, and I'm just hoping that Will and Jessie will end up together, hopefully. As always, if you've watched this video until the end, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!